From the Boulevard of Broken Dreams comes the first ever Sunset Strip Music Festival, honoring 3 men whose venues have become as legendary as the bands who have played there.
Everybody wants to be here. Everybody wants to come to LA. Everybody wants to play one of these clubs. Like, it's a big deal. Like, if you haven't played the Sunset Strip as a band, you haven't done anything yet.
In the 1960s and 70s, Elmer Valentine, Mario Maglieri, and Lou Adler opened the doors to the Whiskey, the Roxy, and the Rainbow, shaping Sunset Strip into a music mecca known around the world.
Well, those guys are huge. I mean, the Roxy, which Lou Adler owns, is an institution in this town. And the Rainbow is a whole backstory to that one, too. And then, of course, the Whiskey is legendary.
It was here where legends like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, and the Doors began. And it was this era that began a new chapter in the history of rock and roll.
So we're heading down to the Grand Salon. What do we have down here?
Down here we have, well, about 30 cars. Some of our more rare automobiles, and some of our past Pebble Beach winners.
This is amazing. These are rolling works of art.
As a matter of fact, we call them functional fine art.
Functional fine art. And well, we have quite a proliferation of cars down here. I tell you what, if you've got the time, could we kind of take a stroll and maybe you give me a little information about some of the cars?
Be happy to tell you.
From Wealth on Art comes a double ticket to the opera, featuring the performances of Cavalleria Rusticana and Pagliacci. It's a night of 2 tenors, 2 sopranos, and 1 captivating evening.
The Gulf Coast of the United States has a rich maritime history. One unique company with historical roots in New Orleans and headquartered in Gulfport, Mississippi, continues a tradition of crafting custom-built yachts for their well-heeled clients. Behind the Name takes a rare look at a company, the people, and their craftsmanship of these unique vessels. It's also a peek into America's important past, a proud community, and their endurance through hardship. Let's take a look behind the Name, Trinity Yachts, the world's top custom yacht builder.
Take to the sky with an adventure that ascends the rest.
Balloon flight is something that everyone should experience, maybe put it on their bucket list.
Muster up the courage and get ready to hop aboard, because we're going to find out how the exertion of hot air...
Right now we're dropping through about 4,500 feet. I'm going to give a little bit of heat to regulate our descent rate.
And a little technique.
Phil is such a good pilot, he could probably drive through McDonald's drive-thru with that thing.
Is all you need to float through the clouds. It's all right here on Wealth in the Air, Sailing the Skies.
It's 9 months of preparation, where bellies expand faster than your wardrobe. If the stork hasn't outfitted your home in baby-proof style, we've got everything you'll need.
Chic moms.
Chic moms, any moms,
Yeah.
enjoy it. It's
Enjoy,
9 months.
Yes, 9 months of your life. Enjoy the way your body is changing. Enjoy your new curves.
This is Baby Chic.
You know, you need to train yourself to see what your lens sees. Be able to look at a scene and pull out little vignettes here and there of color or of texture or of light or whatever it may be. Little pieces of a scene sometimes can be very dramatic. Telephoto zoom, very effective for that. One of the best ways to train yourself to see through the eyes of your lens is to look through your lens and adjust the focal length. Don't be afraid to use that zoom. You know, point it at something that might look nice and then try some different compositions on it. Train yourself to see what your lens sees, and you'll be able to pick art out of what might ordinarily look like just a mundane scene.
I killed a man a year ago. His draw was just a mile too slow. Hey, Mr. H, you heard the news. I'm a bad man. I got me the bad man's blues.
Today we're happy to bring you the story of John Wayne and add him to our Circle of Honor. For most of us, when we think of the Duke, we think of the tall, strong cowboy on horseback. With that image on our minds, we sense a longing to go back to some place where we came from, an America that used to be, where there was a good and a bad, a right and wrong, and no shades of gray on that scale between black and white. John Wayne not only represented that image, but was very much that man in real life. Today, we'll learn about how he became that man. Hi, this is Tom Wopat with this week's Circle of Honor. Every now and then, we get to honor someone of great historical significance. Today is our opportunity to do just that as we add General Chuck Yeager to our Circle of Honor. We're all familiar with his legendary flight that not only broke the sound barrier in 1947, but also shattered the barriers to supersonic and space travel worldwide. What we're less familiar with is General Yeager's close ties to the American outdoors and how this lifestyle has shaped him and served as a foundation to his existence.
Well, basically, I was a typical boy raised in West Virginia, and since outdoor habitat, animals, wild animals and such were a part of our life because they were a supplement to the table for food.
The team is basically all from Russia. Like, we got 3 or 4 players who've been playing in the first squad ever like 10 years ago. And now, as we are playing in National American League, we had to take several American guys, perfect guys from New York Extreme, and now we are some kind of an international team here.
Gotcha. How do you feel so far in the tournament?
We're doing really great. We really happy because we got all the same situation when we were playing in the semis with Philly, and they beat us by only 1 point. And
they beat you by only 1 point?
Yeah,
Philly did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we felt not very comfortable before this game, but we stayed focused and beat them.
That's great. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for you too.
And we appreciate it. And we'll be following you out there. We're looking forward to seeing more great stuff on the field.
Okay, cool.
Of course, what fed the Charleston economy were the plantations nearby, and there are still many beautiful ones that you can tour and visit around Charleston, and it is an important thing to see to understand Charleston completely. The oldest working plantation around Charleston is Boone Hall Plantation.
Hi, this is Tom Wopat. We have the special privilege of adding one of America's most famous rodeo cowboys into our Circle of Honor this week, Mr. Larry Mahan. Even before Larry entered a kids' calf riding competition in 1957, he had high hopes of making it big in the rodeo circuit. By the time high school was over, Mahan had graduated from calves to bulls and busted out of the gate and onto the professional rodeo scene with a unique approach to rodeo from an athletic perspective. He brought his own style, flair for marketing, and people skills to the arena, and changed our perception of the rodeo cowboy. In the span of his career, he shattered rodeo records, becoming a 6-time world all-around cowboy champion, a title that he held until Ty Murray broke it in 1998. Since his retirement from rough stock events in 1977, Larry's been busy with several projects, which we'll learn about today. His most recent focus being the training and breeding of quarter horses, and the operation of the saddle sore ranches in Colorado and Texas with his wife, Diana McNabb Mahan.
I grew up on 2 acres in Brooks, Oregon, 9 miles north of Salem, the state capital, and we claim to be the onion capital of the world. I was probably the first rodeo guy that came from Brooks. And I grew up around horses. My dad always had a few horses around and loved them, and tried the rodeo game when he was a younger man, but back in the early 40s it was more about survival than going out there and riding all these bucking horses and so on.